So I'm gonna put you on game to a new term that I've learned recently.
Oh, old people's lingo.
Old people. This is some new shit. But before I get into
When old
that,
people bring it to you, it's always old.
yikes. But before I get into it, we talked about Drew and the actor not being gay, but playing a gay character and how that portrays in gay representation.
Okay, yeah. Got you.
And so in a similar way, I kind of want to talk about this subject and how we would feel if it were something that involved, black people in a similar way, like we did that. So make sure you check out that video after you watch this video in entirety. The term that I have found is rainbow washing.
Oh.
And is defined by Urban Dictionary as the act of using or adding rainbow colors and or imagery to advertising, apparel, accessories, landmarks in order to indicate progressive support for LGBTQ equality, but with a minimum of effort or pragmatic result. Essentially, using the LGBT symbols, rainbows specifically, to denote that, hey, we're with the LGBT movement, but we're not going to really do anything. We're not going to do anything of any real substance.
Oh, well then shit. We got rainbow washing. We got noir washing. We got all kind of washing.
And that's why it's so interesting to me. So obviously it's Pride Month. So everybody's corporation is out here waving that rainbow flag, which I don't even know if there's any specific. Oh, you know what? Actually, Juneteenth's coming up, so maybe we might get some corporations to be like, "Hey, it's Juneteenth.
Oh, we've been
look
getting
at us."
that too. You've been seeing all the fucking Juneteenth cake and Juneteenth pastries and Juneteenth salad.
Really, nigga? So as we can't speak to the LGBT community because neither one of us are of that community, we can definitely speak to a marginalized group of beings being pandered to with no substance being added to it whatsoever. So how do you feel about that in and of itself?
Well, I mean, I guess everybody kind of has their thing, right? Everybody has their level of virtue signal that they're going to be able to take and still feel adequately represented. I guess that line is just different for different people, different strokes for different folks. Mm-hmm. So I know for me, the line would kind of be where the only thing that you seek to promote is the most superficial part of my identity, right? And so like if you were doing something for Juneteenth and all you were able to put out is, a bunch of black people at a park or something like that, or I don't know, just something tropey, something that didn't adequately represent us as a whole, but instead represented the most outrageous, the most flamboyant, the most visually gripping things. Mm-hmm. Right? A lot of times when people seek to quote unquote represent you, they look for the most visually visceral things, right? The things that really catch the eye. That's why the rainbow is such a reproduced and overused kind of symbol of that community, because it's something that pops out. It's something that grabs your attention, which makes it easier for them to sell you whatever it is that they're trying to sell. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of my barometer, is where you sort of mix culture and heritage with marketing. It's a fine line to walk, I will admit that, but it's also not so hard that it's not doable. Yeah. It takes minimal effort to paint people in a positive light and not commodify them or commercialize them.
Yeah, obviously I'm not with any of it, just because again you're aligning yourself with the movement, but it's only to make yourself look good at the end of the day. Like, you're not doing anything of substance to help this community or that community, right? Nobody has done anything.
I don't think they're trying to, though. I think mostly they're trying to sell their product to them.
But don't show me that you're in support of whatever movement and then not support said movement. Your actions don't match your words.
Sure.
At all.
I.e. the NBA. i.e. the NFL, i.e. any organization who says that they are for this or for that or support this, support that.
Yeah.
And send their check and forget about it. I think that, obviously we got a Pride Month, so there is something. There's obviously a market there to be tapped, and they've obviously found it very profitable because it's a yearly occurrence. So,
yeah,
I guess I would say that pay more attention to the celebrations, the banners, the commercials from organizations that have a I guess a closer relationship or are part of that community themselves. That's probably an easier way of parsing through who's honest and who's not. Expecting corporations to be honest brokers is just not. It's not in your best interest, nor is it in theirs in many cases. At least not fiscally.
For sure. So with all that being said, I'd love to roll out a game or a segment where
Oh my God,
we can play Is It Offensive? But I can't because ultimately...
Are you offended?
But I can't ultimately because, this is not our direct community. So maybe I should name it Should It Be Offensive? So I've got 4 examples of blatant rainbow washing that I think we should probably discuss. The first thing is there was a company by the name of M&S. They make sandwiches. Okay. And so obviously one of the more popular sandwiches out there is the BLT.
Okay.
M&S took it a step further to rainbow wash and release the LGBT. Right? We got the BLT somewhere in there, but we added guacamole to make it the LGBT. Is it offensive?
Annoying, not offensive.
Okay. Or should it be offensive? Let me.
My opinion. Annoying, not offensive.
Okay. All right. That's number 1. Number 2, Burger King Austria, which I guess different countries have their own different advertising firms, decided it would be a good idea to release a Whopper, 2 Whoppers, 2 versions of the Whopper, I should say. One has 2 top buns. The other one has 2 bottom buns.
Offensive. Offensive. Like literally, that kind of goes back to what we were just discussing. Like, where's the line where you take the most visceral thing about my identity or my makeup or my culture and you put it at the forefront for shock value or for laughs or something? Like what is the correlation between someone's, I guess, their preferred sexual position in a fucking hamburger? Why? Just call it a rainbow burger and sell it, bro. They're going to eat it anyway.
No, they named it the Pride Burger, the Pride Whopper,
with tops and bottoms.
Yeah.
It again, it's just like it's a little tropey. If we are talking about people in that community, we have to be talking about sex as if that's their entire lives, as if that's the entire makeup of their identity. That's how you best represent them, is by referencing or talking about sex. Again, I am not the line arbiter here in this specific conversation, but if you asking me, that's offensive.
Okay. In a almost extreme example of an organization just using this to sell their ideals, I guess, in 2020, none other than Trump himself rolled out MAGA hats with rainbow font on it. Should it be offensive?
Rainbow MAGA hat, of course. And for no other reason than it's a MAGA hat.
And finally, the number 4th is actually a possible, because we still are not all the way there yet. We don't know where this is going to turn, but it's Pride Month, and Marvel has rolled out the potentially bi or gay T'Challa.
Hey fam, why did you do this? I really honestly did not expect you to even bring this up. Don't get me riled up today.
Should it be offensive?
To who?
Both the LGBT community and the black community.
I know as a just as a heterosexual black man, it's offensive to me. But I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they're shooting, if it's happening. Maybe they're shooting to win over a crowd there. I don't know. I don't think it serves the story that's being told. I don't think it serves the character. I don't think it serves the IP. I don't think it does anything other than to send subliminal messages about how Marvel feels about not just that character, but that character's demographic. Because here's the thing. Let's take any type of sexual identity bigotry out of it. Let's remove that from out of this for a second. Let's pretend that doesn't exist. We got yellow people, we got blue people, we got purple people, we got red people. I need to sell to all of them, right? So I have a product that I sell to the red people. I have a product that I sell to the blue people. I have a product that I sell to the yellow people. I have a product that I sell to the purple people. And each one of those products are specifically crafted and made to fit the people that color's likes, wants, cultural and ethnic background, history, what so have you. Now, if I do all of that, but then when I get to then when I get to green, I say, you know what? Green, I'm going to give you a character that's blue. I'm going to give you a blue character. You know why? Because I feel like there's a potential for me to sell blue characters within your green community. Now, you might say, well, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Until you realize that green character doesn't at all represent that green community. Not in the least bit. And it's only being put there so that the company can benefit. Is that an easy enough way to put it without it being, oh no, don't push your gay agenda? Because I promise you that's not what it is. I don't believe in that. That's not what it is. But I just tried to find an easier way to put it to you. It's like everyone else, red, blue, purple, yellow, were able to get their product in a way that the company was able to benefit and that they weren't offended by it because it was perfectly handcrafted for them to sell to them. But then we get to the green character and all of a sudden, green has to get something special and different because again, we're leaving bigotry out of this.
Right.
Just because. And hey, that works retrospectively because now if I'm blue, I'm like, well, I have the blue characters. Why? Green has their own thing going on over there. Why am I now being forced, or why is my identity being used to sell a product to green? Why is my experience being sold to people who don't want it, who aren't asking for it, so that you can profit? It seems as though you are using me as a political shield to push your product on people who may or may not want it.
Despite blue already having presence in
blue already having a purpose and plenty, a community full of people that need to be represented and that need the product that you're selling.
That almost sounds like the epitome of rainbow washing. And literally the only real reason I brought it up. I mean, obviously, we do the whole T'Challa thing, but that's rainbow washing.
It's like, you know how they race swap characters in movies, right? Mm-hmm. And I never looked at it this way because, number one, if we're talking about black characters, we just kind of got to take the roles that we get, right? Because we're not, the opportunities are few and far in between, regardless of the stature of the actor, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So within that, when you have race swapped characters, initially, or I guess in my younger years, I never really looked at it as annoying or woke or you know, anything like that, because you're just happy to see another black actor get a role in something. But then you start to look at it and you see the type of vitriol, man, i.e. the Obi-Wan series. Man, my God. With that girl that's playing Reva. Where when it happens, people automatically coin it. Like, oh, man, it's the woke hire. It's the diversity hire. It's virtue signal, you know, all of that other stuff. Which, there's some truth to that. There is. But you would think by now that studios, even just by nature of that, of trying to quote unquote shield their actors from undue criticism, they would try to stay away from that when it doesn't serve the story. And yet it's more commercialized and more assembly lined now than it has ever been, where they will arbitrarily make a character a woman when it's you know, traditionally been a man, or they will arbitrarily change the race of a character to check off the boxes, right? And it's become so blatant and so obvious to the viewers that they bucket even the people who aren't willing to get on the internet and say a whole bunch of racist shit. There's still that feeling of, oh man, well, this is the, you know, if we got a like Batwoman. All right, there was Batwoman, and then there was the black girl Batwoman. That's how she'll forever be remembered.
Yeah,
and that's because of how they set that up. That's how it will always be remembered. Yeah, we got Superman, and then we got the black Superman. We got Batman, but now we got the black Batman. That is how that happens when you take characters who have been built up to have a certain identity and you force the fan base to accept a different identity.
They become almost a completely separate identity.
It's not like it can't be done. It's not like it can't be done in good taste. But there will be a natural reaction to bucket where it is unnecessary or it does not serve a purpose. They don't really give a damn about how you're looked at playing the role. They don't care about how it may rub people, or how it may disrespect, or how it may turn people off totally towards it. They are trying to get audiences based on the numbers. The feels matter, not even second or third, probably 10th.
Mm-hmm.
So in that, when you see these type of moves, just know that it is always a business move. And even if you liked it, even if you were down with it, it was still a business move. It was still a move to change a character's identity for money.
And that is the epitome of what's wrong with rainbow washing. And even then, it's even more fucked up because you're using controversy around somebody's identity.
Exactly.
Which is
exactly. Because they know, just like the half of people that are going to get excited about the change and come out to see how it goes, they know there's just going to be just as much people who help promote the movie by hating on it online, and then also probably a lot of them go in and see the movie so that they can review bomb it.
Yeah.
So it's you know,
it's fucked up.
Yeah, for sure.
Any other thoughts on rainbow washing at all?
I didn't think that was a question I was going to have to answer today. No, I do not have any thoughts. Give us your thoughts on rainbow washing. Is it something that is does more harm than good? Let us know what you think. Go ahead and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Come back to us next week.
And like I said before, make sure you check out our video on gay representation in TV shows. And make sure you subscribe. We like to talk about things as it pertains to injustices, as it pertains to just unfair situations brought on by corporations specifically. We like to talk about all sorts of things like that. Marginalized groups for sure. So make sure you subscribe for more.